All right, let's go to create a new design. This is the interface of Tinkercad. Right here in the middle, we see our work plane. This is where we start creating our model on. Over here, we have our view cube and other view features. Over here, we have some commands here to copy, paste, duplicate, delete, undo, redo. Over here, we have show all, group, ungroup, align, mirror. Over here, we have import, export, and send to. We can create additional work planes. We have a ruler, and we have some basic shapes. Down here, we have an edit grid and a snap grid. And over here, we have a already pre-assigned name to your file in use. So what's interesting about Tinkercad, and we're going to go into each of these features in just a second, is that first of all, it's completely web-based. You don't have to download a program or install it onto your computer. In essence, you could work on Tinkercad on a mobile device or on a desktop or on a laptop. It's easier to work on Tinkercad with a desktop when you have when you can connect a mouse to it, because a lot of the things, a lot of the commands and the movements and viewing of the object requires you to heavily use a mouse. It makes it easier for the user. But that being said, you could certainly use it on your iPad or tablet. So first things first, let's change the name. Over here, we can change the name to whatever name you like. For today's purposes, I'm just going to click put design 1 and then click out of it. So I already saved this design as design 1. I would suggest getting into the habit of naming your designs to organize your designs better and for you to easily spot the design that you're looking for. Another thing that we're going to edit real quick is probably the grid, and this will be mainly up to you. We're going to click edit grid, and we're going to change from millimeters to inches. And we could also change the work plane dimensions. Let's go 8 by 8. And we're going to update the grid. You can, of course, leave it at millimeters, but the majority of users born here in the United States or used to the United States form of measurement, which is an inch, it would just be recommended. Another thing we're going to note right over here is that Tinkercad has an array of shapes that you can select. So how you make your model is actually by grabbing a shape and modifying that shape to fit your purposes or design. So with the mouse, we're going to click on a box and then click anywhere on the work plane to place this box. Other things about the interface is whenever you click a shape, a dialog box with the shape information appears. So, we needed a shape to view the different features and components of Tinkercad really quickly. So, one of the most important features is going to be viewing. A lot of times you're going to have to rotate around your 3D model to see what additional features you're going to add or how it may look. So if you have a scroll wheel, You could use the scroll wheel to zoom in or out. You could also zoom in or out using the plus or the minus. Another thing that we're going to have to probably do is look at it from different angles. So there's something over here called the view cube, and we could click on different aspects of the view cube so we could see the different angles. And whenever we have gone either too far in or at an awkward angle and we want to go back to a reset view, we could always click on home view, and that resets the view for you. Another thing to note is that there is fit all in view, so you could actually click that and it zooms into your 3D model or the components that are on the work plane. Another thing to note is that we can also change the view from three-dimensional to a flat view. This often helps viewers to align certain components, and you could switch it back. You can, of course, when you click onto the object, you could copy that object. You could also paste that object. You could also duplicate that object. And whenever you want to move your 3D model or your basic shape, you could just grab the shape and move it. Drag it with your mouse. You can, of course, delete shapes, and you could click undo to undo an action and redo to redo an action. So you could, when the dialog box appears, you could do other features. You could lock the shape into place, preventing you from moving it around. You can unlock it. You could also hide the shape. When you want to view a shape, you click over here to show all. You could also make shapes, and we'll discuss this further. You can modify the shape type, make it solid or whole, change the length, the width, the height, and the resolution of the shapes. But we'll discuss that further on. You could also make sure you select both items. So you could group a shape, make it into one solid, ungroup the shapes, you can also align shapes to each other. You could also mirror shapes. And of course, you have the option to grab a work plane and create a new plane to work on. You have a ruler, and the ruler is a way to create an origin point and move certain objects to an exact position. And you'll notice when I move a shape that it snaps to each grid. So you could always change that snap grid right here. You could import files, other 3D models, and SVGs. You could also export your model. So this covers just the interface. And if you ever want to go back to your dashboard, all you have to do is click on Tinkercad, the little logo right here. And it'll take you back to your dashboard where it has the collection of your designs.